The death of Kobe Bryant, 2020, January 26, 2020. The California sky is covered in thick fog. A helicopter cuts through the haze, carrying Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others on their way to a youth basketball game. At 9:47 a.m., radio contact is lost. Moments later, a dull explosion echoes through the hills of Calabasas. The helicopter has crashed, no survivors. The world stops. Kobe Bryant, 41 years old, 5-time NBA champion with the Lakers, was more than a player. He was a symbol of relentless work, perfection, and obsession with greatness. The Mamba mentality was his creed, and millions followed it. In the hours after the crash, fans flood the streets of Los Angeles. Candles, tears, silence. A city that never sleeps suddenly holds its breath. In that fog, basketball lost one of its purest artists, and a generation lost its hero. 2. The death of Len Bias, 1986. 2 days after being drafted second overall by the Boston Celtics, Len Bias was on top of the world. Explosive talent destined to be the next face of the NBA. But the celebration turned into a nightmare. After a night of partying, Bias collapsed. His heart stopped, a cocaine overdose. He was 22. Shockwaves rippled across the country. Teammates wept in disbelief. Boston had just drafted its next Larry Bird, and fate took him away before his first game. His death became a national turning point, sparking anti-drug legislation and deep reflection on the pressure facing young athletes. On the court, his absence still echoes, the sound of a dream that never had the chance to live. 3. The death of Hank Gathers, 1990. March 8, 1990, Los Angeles. The gym roars as Hank Gathers, star of Loyola Marymount University, charges toward the rim. He dunks. The crowd erupts. Seconds later, he collapses. At first, people think it's just a fall, but he doesn't get up. 23 years old, gone from a heart condition, right there on the court. It was one of the darkest moments in college basketball. His mother watched from the stands. His teammates stood frozen, unable to believe it. Days later, they played the tournament in his honor. Every basket became a tribute, every victory a prayer. The dream lived on, but the heartbeat that inspired it was gone. 4. The death of Dražen Petrović, 1993. June 7, 1993, Germany. Rain lashes the Autobahn near Denkendorf. Dražen Petrović, 28, guard for the New Jersey Nets, is returning from a national team game with Croatia. His car hydroplanes and slams into a truck. He dies instantly. Known as the Mozart of basketball, Petrović was more than a player. He was Europe's hope, a pioneer who opened the NBA's doors to international stars. His death stunned Croatia, still recovering from war. Thousands attended his funeral in Zagreb. Teammates remembered him simply. He didn't play for money. He played for love. The rain that day washed away one of the brightest sparks of global basketball. 5. The death of Reggie Lewis, 1993. Just weeks after Petrovic's accident, Boston faces tragedy again. July 27, 1993, Reggie Lewis, the young Celtics captain, is practicing alone in a gym. Suddenly, he collapses. Cardiac arrest, 27 years old. It was another cruel blow for Boston, still haunted by Len Bias's death. Months earlier, Lewis had fainted during a playoff game, doctors warning him to rest. He didn't. That night, the lights of the Boston Garden dimmed forever. Fans filled the streets, laying flowers and jerseys, 2 fallen stars in less than a decade, and a reminder that behind the myth of greatness, the human heart is fragile. 6. The death of Lorenzen Wright, 2010. Summer, 2010. Memphis. Former NBA player Lorenzen Wright vanishes. Days turn into weeks. Then, a grim discovery, his body found in a wooded field riddled with bullets. The basketball world is stunned. Wright was beloved for his kindness and charity work. His murder remained unsolved for years until 2017, when his ex-wife and an accomplice were charged. Behind his warm smile lay a tragedy of betrayal and violence. In Memphis, a city already scarred by hardship, people mourned one of their own. The story of Lorenzen Wright stands as a painful reminder that fame doesn't shield anyone from darkness. 7. The tragedy of Karl-Anthony Towns' family, 2020 to 2021. At the height of the global pandemic, Karl-Anthony Towns faced unimaginable loss. Within months, he lost 8 family members, including his mother, to COVID-19. On social media, he spoke softly about grief, his voice trembling. On the court, his face carried the weight of sorrow. Each game became a battle, not for victory, but for survival. In empty arenas, he often looked upward, searching for his mother's smile somewhere beyond the rafters. His story transcended basketball. It became the story of a son, a survivor, and a man trying to breathe again in a world that had stopped. 8. The death of Bobby Phills, 2000. January 12th, 2000. Charlotte. Bobby Phills, respected guard for the Hornets, leaves practice driving his sports car. The road is slick. He loses control and collides head-on with another vehicle. He dies instantly. The impact shakes the team to its core. Teammates cancel games. His locker remains untouched, a shrine of quiet grief. The Hornets retire his number 13 jersey. Phills was known for discipline, humility, and heart. His death served as a cruel reminder. Even away from the spotlight, life's fragility spares no one. 9. The death of Eddie Griffin, 2007. August 17th, 2007. A train conductor sees flames on the tracks near Houston, Texas. A mangled SUV completely destroyed. Inside, the remains of Eddie Griffin, former NBA forward, only 25 years old. Investigators later learned he had driven straight into a moving train. Griffin was once a prodigy, talented, raw, and troubled. Alcohol and personal struggles shadowed his promising career. His death was ruled an accident, but it carried the weight of despair. Teammates remembered him as kind, quiet, misunderstood. The world saw the headlines. Those who knew him saw a lost soul searching for peace. 10. The injury of Paul George, 2014. August 1st, 2014. Las Vegas, Team USA scrimmage. The atmosphere is electric. Stars warming up, crowd cheering. Then, in a flash, silence. Paul George leaps to block a layup, lands awkwardly, and his leg bends in a way no leg should. The sound of bones snaps through the arena. Players cover their faces. The audience goes still. You can hear George's pain, short, gasping breaths echoing in the empty gym. Live broadcasts cut the replay. Too graphic, too real. Months of recovery followed. Paul George's comeback became one of the most inspiring stories in basketball. But that night, everyone saw how quickly glory can crumble. One wrong step, 1 second of fate. 11. The Malice at the Palace, 2004. November 19th, 2004. Auburn Hills, Michigan. Pacers versus Pistons. The tension is thick, the crowd loud, a hard foul, words exchanged. Then, chaos. A fan throws a drink at Ron Artest. Artist charges into the stands, fists fly, screams, chairs. It's no longer a game, it's a riot. The broadcast cuts between players, fans, and terrified families in the stands. Commentators don't know what to say. In the following days, the NBA world is shaken. Suspensions, fines, broken reputations. The Malice at the Palace becomes a symbol of fury, of human weakness, of how passion can turn to violence in seconds. It remains one of the darkest nights in league history. 12. The injury of Andrew Bogut, 2010. April 3rd, 2010. Milwaukee Bucks versus Phoenix Suns. Andrew Bogut, a towering center, soars toward the rim for a powerful dunk. He hangs for a split second, then loses his grip. The fall is brutal. His arm twists beneath him, breaking in multiple places. The crowd gasps. His teammates rush over, some turning away from the sight. It's the kind of moment that changes a career forever. Bogut eventually returned, but never quite the same. The sound of that fall, the sudden silence that followed, became one of basketball's most haunting echoes. 13. The death of Ricky Berry, 1989. August 14th, 1989. Sacramento Kings forward Ricky Berry, just 24 years old, takes his own life. No one saw it coming. He had just finished his rookie season. Talented, charismatic, seemingly full of promise. In his home, a note, words of confusion, exhaustion. Those who knew him spoke of quiet struggles beneath the surface. Depression, invisible, unspoken. His death forced the basketball world to confront what no stat sheet could show, the mental toll of expectation and isolation. The cheers fade, the applause ends, and sometimes silence can be deafening. 14. The accident of Shawn Bradley, 2021, January 2021, Utah. The road is quiet. Shawn Bradley, the 7'6" former Mavericks center, rides his bicycle near his home. Then, impact. A car strikes him from behind. The accident leaves him paralyzed from the chest down. For months, the world hears nothing. Then, a statement. He's alive. But his life has changed forever. The man once known for towering over opponents must now rebuild from a wheelchair. His courage, his honesty about pain and acceptance turns tragedy into resilience. Even without the ability to walk, Shawn Bradley stands taller than ever. 15. The death of Ludovic Vaty, 2023. September 2023, France. A small gym in Toulouse hosts a friendly game. Among the players is Ludovic Vaty, 34, former international and rising star of French basketball. Midway through the match, he collapses, his heart stops. Despite immediate help, he doesn't survive. France's basketball community is devastated. Vaty had retired once before due to a heart condition, but his love for the game brought him back, one last time. The echoes of bouncing balls fade into silence. His death reminds everyone that passion sometimes carries a heavy price. On that court, under the fluorescent lights, the game took back the man who could never stop loving it. In the end, these stories remind us that behind every victory, every roar of the crowd, there are lives marked by fragility, loss, and courage. The human side of basketball that statistics can't capture. If this kind of content moves you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps keep these stories alive. Tell us in the comments which moment touched you the most, and check out the next video appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching.